So I just run it and show. I was waiting for others to come now. I don't know. So if I'm entering M, now it will be printing both Monday and Tuesday. I didn't share. Okay, you are able to see, right? It will be printing both Monday because we removed break. It will be continuing the execution until it encounters a break. So if I remove break, it will be printing. Even if I enter M, it will be printing Monday and Tuesday. If I am entering Tuesday, it will be entering, or it will be matching with the Tuesday T, and then it will be printing Tuesday alone. But if I am entering M, it will start execution from that case label, that it will be printing both M and T. So those are there now. You should be giving that attendance in the chat box, because I could see only 51. So the first hour, how much ever attendance was there, I will be marking, and then I'll be giving the attendance for the second hour, that is this hour. No, this is also considered as theory hour only. I'll be marking for theory, because I am taking theory now. We have to match with the number of classes and the topic covered. So I'll be marking this for the theory. Yeah, they are wasting all time, no? Why it is not connecting or telling? Till now it was okay only, right? But 53 have ended now. I don't think it is problem from my side. So you can write down this program also. Okay. So here, this program, you have to execute and see, then only you will understand what all will be essential and which are optional. And after that, you can do this program. So we'll be asking you to execute this program, in which you will be asking the user to enter an operator, and you can use the same. So the operator is accepted in a variable called OP. Are you getting? We are accepting in a variable called variable called OP, and we are using scanf. You can either use scanf or you can use get character. Got it? If you are finding it difficult to use scanf, you can use get character. You can use %C as the format specifier, and then you will be accepting the character either plus or minus. Okay, so you'll be accepting either plus or minus, and then you will be asking the user to enter the two operands. What are operands? If I am entering 6 plus 4, what are operands and what are operators? What are operands? Type in the chat box. What are operands? Operands, when I am entering 6 and 4, 6 and 4 will be operands, operator will be plus, correct. So like this, you will be accepting the operands in the variable number 1 and number 2, operator in the variable called OP, and using the...
Hello. Jai Maheshmati ki dinner le lo. This is a great party.
So if I'm locking that, then no one can enter. That's why I'm not locking it. Now I should enable waiting room. Otherwise, no, someone else is coming. Okay. So here you will be accepting the operator in the variable called OP, and you will be accepting the operands in the variable called num1 and num2. And using the switch case, you will be checking the expression, whatever you are accepting in the variable called OP. Using a switch case, you will be matching the case labels. If in OP variable you have entered a plus sign, so in the last class, for BSc I had taken, so I changed it. So you will be entering the plus sign over here. So it will be matching with the it will be matching with the plus and minus. So if I'm entering two operands, any of those, if I'm entering plus, it will be executing the line over here. That means in the printf statement, I have given, what are the two things which I have given? I will be accepting the numbers in num1 and num2, right? So it will be replacing the variable. Sorry, this I had changed for the last class. One second. So here, if I'm entering plus, it will execute the lines for the which is matching for the case label plus, and it will be adding in place of num1 and num2. We are putting some percentage, and here this is the problem. If I'm asking why Sachin is having this much third time internet connection problem. If I'm allowing this waiting room, then by one I should allow participants. That is a problem. So here, if what will be the number will be which will be printed in place of percentage %d if I'm entering 6 and 4. If I'm entering 6 and 4. Answer in the chat box. So what will be printed if I'm entering 6 and 4, and if I'm giving the operator as plus, if I'm entering the operator as plus, then if I'm entering the number 6 and 4, 6 will be replacing this percentage %d. So today some issue is going on. This is just a waste of time, no, if you are not. So it will be printing instead of this percentage %d, 6 will come, 6 plus 4, it will be 10. Okay, if I'm entering minus, it will be going to this case statement, and it will be printing 6 minus 4, and it will result will be 2. So I'll mute from my side. That's the only thing which will work now. Now there are 62 participants. So today I'll be asking you to execute this program. Are you all listening? Using all the 4 operators. Here in this example, I have given only plus and minus, but you will have to execute for plus, minus, and then multiplication and division. Are you all listening? So for multiplication, division, 2 more cases you have to give. And then at the end, you have to give the default case. Got it? So in default case, here you can give an error, because sometimes if you give any other symbol like a $sign or any bracket, unknowingly if you give a wrong operator, you can always have a default option, otherwise it will create a system error. No, so it is better to give an error sentence from your side, so that the program will be executing properly. So here you can give the first case label as plus, then the case label as minus, then third one as multiplication, and then division. Got it? So I need that program. So similarly, if you are doing a plus sign, you have to put plus sign between 2 %d, and for the answer after equal to also you have to put %d. So what are we are passing now as the arguments? First argument will be number 1. So it will be replacing this percentage D. Are you all able to see? So this program you should execute and send, so that now we can start with the lab programs. Okay, we are very slow, like we didn't finish any of the lab program, start any of the lab program. So this percentage D will be replaced by the value of number 1, whatever we accepted here. Okay, and then the second then comes the plus symbol, then the second percentage D will be replaced by the number 2, and the third percentage D will be replaced by the value num1 plus num2. Suppose we entered 6 and 4, it will be adding 6 plus 4 and the value 10. What is after adding num1 and num2 will be replacing this third percentage D. Similarly, when we write the case label as minus, you have to have a minus between these two percentage D, and here also you should have a minus. When we have multiplication, you have to use with symbol. What is the symbol used for multiplication in computer? No, here in when we are writing the program, answer in the chat box. Which is the symbol used for multiplication? Yeah, asterisk. Tara. It's not. It is this star symbol. Okay, so you can find it in the keyboard. This star symbol is used, which is above 8. In order to access that, you have to use the shift key. Okay, so that will be used for the multiplication. And for division, you will be using a slash. Okay, so this division slash will be used for the all the 4 operators. You should be doing this switch case, and I should see the program. So today's program will be this. Okay, and even using switch case, I will be asking you to do. Now comes the next decision making statement. Listen, all of you here. This is another important thing, important decision making statement. So till now we were telling about only those decision making statements like if. We have seen different varieties of if, and the second one was the one switch case. Now we are moving on to another decision making operator, we can tell. Rather than telling a statement, we can tell it as a decision making operator. It is also used for making a two-way decision. To make a two-way decision, this operator is also known as conditional operator or ternary operator. Ternary operator is a common name, but I am telling. So this operator, Sai Kiran and Abhishek, I don't know, today some problem is there, but already 64 participants are there. The conditional operator is consisting of 2 things. One is the question mark, the other one will be colon. And what is the difference, or what are unary operator, binary operator, and ternary operator? Answer in the chat box. You might have studied in maths. What is unary operator, what is binary operator, and what is a ternary operator? Unary operator means it will be taking only single operand. What is the difference between an operator and an operand? I told you, right? So if it takes an operator takes only one operand, then it is known as a unary operator. If an operator takes 2 operands, so multiplication, division, and all, no, they are all multiplication, subtraction, everything are binary operators because it takes 2 operands. 6 and 4 are 2 operands, right? So it will be a binary operator. Unary operator, example for unary operator. Somebody, let me see who is smart enough to know what is an example for unary operator. Unary operator, anything which takes only one operand. Don't know. A plus plus, you might have seen some operands like we will be studying also that increment operator and decrement operator will be taking only one operand. This is an operator, plus plus is an operator which is an increment operator, and A is the operand. Is it clear? If you want to decrease the value of B using, you can use a decrement operator. Decrement operator, that is minus minus. Increment operator is plus plus. So it is not 2 plus, it is considered as a single operator. So unary operators are those which will take only one operand. So likewise, you can write it as plus plus I, or you can have the unary operator, increment or decrement, either before the operand or after the operand. So it has a meaning, and sometimes when we are using it, in order to increment and then increment the value and then assign, you can have either plus plus in the beginning or after the operand. That I will be learning in the next chapter, in the operator chapter. So for the time being, you should understand that conditional operator is a ternary operator. Now, what is the meaning of a ternary operator? We saw unary operator takes only one operand, binary takes two operands, ternary takes three operands. Ternary takes three operands. So here we will see where and all now these conditional operator are taking three operands. You know, conditional operator is indicated as a question mark and a colon. So in between this question mark and colon, we have to fit three operands. Understood? So it is these operands are given in the form of expression. The first one is a conditional expression. You know, the conditional operator is nothing but this question mark and a colon. So in between these two, we have to fix three operands. So the conditional expression is given as a first operand, and the lines to be executed or the action to be taken when the condition turns out to be true is given as a second operand, and the expression to be evaluated and is given evaluated when the conditional expression turn out to be false is given as the third operand. Is it clear? So the first conditional expression will be a conditional statement which will be evaluated to either true or false. Conditional expression, as we give it in if statement, if in condition we will give in bracket, right? Likewise, for this conditional expression also, we will give a condition in bracket. If it evaluates to true, then it will execute expression 1. If it turns out to be false, it will execute expression 2. I will be asking you to convert the same programs which you had executed using if statement, if else statement, using conditional expression. So you should be attentive in the class. So it is a combination of question mark and colon and take three operands. So the conditional expression is evaluated first. The conditional expression is evaluated first. If the result is true, then expression 1 is evaluated and returned. So this conditional operator will be returning a value and it is assigned into a variable name. Otherwise, expression, what is otherwise? If it turns out to be false, it will execute or evaluate expression 2 and the value is returned into the variable name. So here down I have given an example. All keep your chat box ready. So Sai Kiran, are you there? You tell me in this conditional expression, I am giving the conditional expression as, so what is flag? Flag is a variable, okay? Instead of flag, if you want, I can just give a variable called, I'm just using a variable called A, okay? When you see flag, you so if I am entering the value of, listen here, Sai Kiran, are you there? If I am asking the user to enter the value of X as 2, what will be the value of A? Sai Kiran. In the chat box you can message. What will be the value of A? So what is the condition I have mentioned? I am entering X equal to 2. So in the condition I am checking whether 2 is less than 0. Sai Kiran, whether 2 is less than 0? Two is less than 0, Sai Kiran. No. So what will happen? What value will be or expression will be evaluated? If it is true, then it will assign 0 to A. If it is false, it will assign 1 to A. Got it? So what will be the value of A now? It is false now, right? 2 is not less than 0. So what will be the value of A? Value of A will be 1. Got it? So that much logic minded people only will be able to answer fast. Okay, now you should be you should be fast enough to answer. So next one. Okay. So this you have to remember that syntax of conditional operator. We will be giving the conditional expression first, then the question mark, then the expression to be evaluated when the condition is true. Is it clear? When the condition is true, this expression will be expression or value. That value will be taken and it will be assigned into, or it will be returned. It will be assigned into the variable what we mentioned before the conditional operator. If the condition is false, this expression, second expression or the value will be assigned into the variable which is mentioned on the left hand side of the conditional operator. Got it? It's very simple. Now, you know, we have written the program using if else for finding whether a number is odd or even, to print whether a number is odd or even. How many lines of code we were using? We were checking if, what was the condition we had given? If the number ended, no, if here I am using a variable called a. So what we will be doing? All of you did, right? So we will be using per mode or percentage a mod 2. You have all done. Some of you, except for few, all have executed. See if it is equal to 0. That means what? Tell me what is a mod 2? A mod 2, if it is equal to 0, I have muted everyone. No? A mod 2, if it is equal to 0, then we are giving the statement printf even. Right? We will be giving the printf even. And then in the else part, what we have given, if it is false, that is if it is remainder is not equal to 0, then we will be printing it as odd. So how many lines of code we had used now? You know that we had used, so here it will be even and there it will be odd. So I'm not very poor in writing with this cursor. So we have used 4 lines of code, right? Instead of that, we can write the same thing using a single line. Are you all clear? So what is how we are writing it? Can you understand what I have given over here? If you want to put an extra bracket also for this conditional expression, you can always do. That is for this also you can do. What is the conditional expression I have given? If a mod 2, if a mod 2 is equal to 0, the same conditional expression what we have given for the if, right? A mod 2, if it is equal to 0, then we are putting the question mark, right? Then we are giving if it is equal to 0, the true case, whatever is in true case we are giving over here, whatever in true or the if case, you know, whatever we are given, it is given over here, printf even. Now after the colon, if it is false, if this condition is false, whatever lines of code we have to execute, that we are mentioning it after the colon. So else block print odd, no, it is given after the colon. So now in this case, if I am entering a as 8, so tell me, Harshida, are you there? Harshida, fast, you know, you should be answering in the chat box. Harshida, tell me, if I am entering 8, what will be printed? Here we are not using or we are not returning a value to a variable. Here we are just printing it. In the previous one, I had used a variable. So Harshida, you're not there. Okay, I'll mark you absent. Okay, so if I am entering 13, it will be printing odd because when we find the mode value 13 mode 2, the remainder is not 0. So it will be printing odd. Got it? You should answer not for the sake of attendance, in order to learn. Always, you know, you should take it in that sense. No, it's very easy for me not to track any one of you, but it's for your benefit I'm doing. I'm wasting that much time. Okay. Then now we are moving on to the next decision making and branching statement, which is known as the go-to statement. Go-to statement is also used for altering or changing the sequential order of execution of the program. all this till now we have studied, that is if statements, different varieties of if statements, which case and conditional operator, and even the go to statement, everything will be changing the sequential execution of a C program, right? So now this is also used in order to change the sequential execution of a C program. But until now, whatever we saw, it was checking with a condition. If that condition is satisfied, then that is, if that condition is true, then it will jump to a set of lines of code. If it is false, it will jump to another set of code. But now using go to statement, we are using an it is also known as an unconditional jump, unconditional decision making, unconditional jump in the program execution. If you want to bring, you can use, or you can bring about using the go to statement. Go to is having two things, that is go to with a label, and then with the set of statements which is labeled by the label. Got it? So the statement, we will be labeling the location to jump, that is indicated by the name label, and then we have another, so go to label, and under so whenever we encounter this go to followed by a label, this will be performing a unconditional jump from this line into the line or the statement where this label is indicated. So it will be skipping the lines soon after the go to label. It will not execute, compiler will not execute the lines which are indicated after the go to label. It will be jumping from this location into the location where the label is indicated, and start executing the statements which are mentioned below the label. So here you have to see that for go to label, we are keeping a variable name. This label, no, anything you can give. This is just like our variable name. Whatever naming convention we have used for variables or identifier name, same thing follows for the go to label name. Okay, so this can be any of the name. So you can just give, sorry, go to what name we'll give. Go to true. If I give here also, I should give true and then one colon. Understood? The syntax is here, after go to label semicolon, but after label you have to put a colon. Got it? So it will be jumping from this line to this, and you can have this go to label go to statement in two types. That is, one is used for the forward jump, the other one is used for the backward jump. So in forward jump, we will be indicating go to label and you will mention the label. So it will be skipping the lines in between. But in another method, that is like in backward jump, we will be giving the label first, then the statements, the usual program statement. At the end, you know, if we have, if you mention the go to label, it will again start execution from the previous lines which was already executed. This will result in a loop. Okay. It is useful for providing a branching within a loop. So we can use go to in order to provide a looping structure. So these lines it has already executed. These statements, no, it had already executed. Now when it encounters a go to label, wherever this label is mentioned, the control the program control will be jumping into that line. So from here again it will start execution. This is known as a forward jump. From here it will be jumping here, but this is known as the backward jump. From this label it will be moving back. The label, as I told, the go to statement is used to transfer the control of the program from one point to another. Provides an unconditional jump. Got it? So it is an unconditional jump. The previous thing I told, switch case is a built-in multi-way decision statement. And if else if and all, no, they are all if else if is a two-way decision maker, but else if ladder nest if and all, it is used for what we are using. It is a multi-way decision, but we have to code the statements. Switch case is a built-in multi-way decision making statement. And now conditional operator, what we were telling, it is again a two-way decision making statement. It is rather an operator. And go to statement is used for an unconditional jump. So what is the specialty of go to statement? It is an it provides an unconditional jump. So is based upon the, we are not checking any condition or a conditional expression. Only for the go to statement, we are making an unconditional jump. We are, when it reaches go to, it will jump towards the label. It is also used to exit from the deeply nested loops when an error occurs. So whenever we have some error, we can make use of the go to label. Just exit from the to exit. So wherever this label is given, if you are giving near to that get ch, it will jump into that. So this will also provide a help in order to exit from a deeply nested loop. So as I told, the go to statement breaks the normal sequential execution of the program, and it is also used to transfer the control out of the loop when certain conditions are satisfied. We will learn about loops later, but you know what is a loop, right? Keeping on repeating the same lines of code. Backward jump, label is before the statement go to. I showed you in the previous slide. Label is before go to, then it is backward jump. In forward jump, the label is placed after the go to label, and some sentences will be skipped. So here I have used both 2 times go to, and here in this example, this also you will have to execute. I have given a read. Until now, all the programs what we have executed, after running the program once, it will just move back to the, after execution, it will come back to the blue screen, right? The ordinary, after execution, it will come back to the program. So if you want to make it as a loop, if you want to continue entering more than one number to check whether it is even or odd, then what we have to do, we can you can also do it with the you can also do it with using a this go to label. There are other ways using while loop and all, but I'm just showing the use of a go to label. So using go to statement, we are what are the 2 things which we need? Go to, listen here, go to label. What is the name of the label over here? Rahul Pradeep, answer no? Rahul Pradeep, what is the name of the label? What is the name of the label? Manoj has replied, but you tell me when I am asking Rahul Pradeep, Rahul, you have messaged. So it is the name of the label is read, right? We are naming the label as read. So you know you have given go to read, and then we have given the label name over here. Label should end with a colon, but go to should end with a semicolon. So what will happen? What is the line? What is the sequence of execution of this program? So first line is the linking session, that is stdio.h. Then we don't have other definition and all, global declaration, nothing is there. Then we are moving to the void main. Then program will come to this local declaration. Then it comes to read. When it comes to read, it will what will happen? This is only a label, right? It is not go to. So it will come to the next line. It will be printing enter a number. Enough. All are messaging now, getting up from sleep and messaging. So when you are asked to write some answer in the chat box, then and there it should come. Okay. So printf enter a number. After entering the number, we are using a one second here. No, what should be the format specifier here? D, right? Because we are giving integer xy here. We are declaring the integer variable, and we are accepting an integer variable means decimal integer means we should be giving it as %d. So we are accepting a number, and then if y, what is y? Y is the number which we have accepted. So in this example, enter a number, I have given 9 means y will be having the value 9, right? If y is less than 9, what will happen if y is less than 9? If y is less than 9, go to read. So what will happen? Our 9 is not less than 0, sorry. If our 9, what we have entered for the y value is not less than 0, right? So what will happen? Tell me, Ananya, just answer. What will happen if I am entering y value as 9? After this line, which line will be executed? After this, go to read, no? Which line will be executed?